2 seconds because I don't think this. I think this is going to take more than 20 minutes.
What episode is this? I think this is episode 7 of the editing. Yeah, episode 7 of the editing sessions. It felt like we did more, but
couple things to note is we're doing this on a Wednesday for the first time.
mm.
We're gonna be going Thursday mornings instead of Friday mornings from here on out.
And why is that, Ross?
Because no one opens their fucking email on Friday. And why would they, right? Like they don't want to.
Yeah.
They don't want to come more going into the weekend. Thursday should be a good day though. People are still pretty locked in. So Tuesday, Thursday, as long as we can crank it out, then I think it'll be smoother.
I want to stress that, and I forgot to talk about it this morning, but we have like a checklist now that we've created of things we're going to do right after we send out a post. One of which is to create a thread. The other is to find all the projects and people mentioned on Twitter and kind of post that we've talked about you on the roast. We didn't do that last. I'm going to be sure to do that this time tomorrow when we release this one, but something to keep in mind. Our open rate is pretty low for the one yesterday. It's a little higher than the one Friday, but pretty bad. Like we want to be at around 50 and we're around 35.
Will you share?
Yeah, right here.
We're around 35 on yesterday's. I think that should get up to 40 probably once it settles out. But yeah, that's not great.
I think we need more unique. I don't know. Maybe this one was too much like catchy where people are like, ugh, like another one of these, and then they didn't click it.
Yeah. I mean,
that's my take on it.
Or maybe we're writing too much. Like,
so I had a convo with a friend of mine who's been reading. And she was telling me, she was like, I'm a little confused about who the audience is. Is the audience like people trying to get into DeFi, or is the audience guys that are super deep into DeFi? And she was like, I assume that's probably your audience, the guys that are already into DeFi. And then her point was basically like, is this adding value to them? And I thought that was an interesting point, because it's like, okay, well, if this is targeting the like guys that are already super into DeFi, then just by giving stories and like giving some light analysis, is that moving the needle for them?
So my take is that it's for both. It's for newbies that are getting into DeFi and want to keep up to date, and it still has value for those degens that usually stay up to date with everything. I actually think it has more value for the newbies than for the degens.
Yeah, that's where I tend to lean to.
But I think we may be like
she thought about the quality, about the posts. Like, are they getting better? Are they getting worse?
And she says, I mean, she likes them, she reads them. And she, well, but like she also mentioned, like she also caveated with like, you know, I read them because I know that, you know, you're doing it and you're writing them, you're like, you're a part of it. So that's, you know,
yeah.
So makes sense.
You know, I think we go a little too in the weeds sometimes for beginners, if that's who we want to speak to.
And then sometimes we're like not going in the weeds enough for like experts.
Do we go into the weeds too much? I feel like we're pretty general.
No, but if we use like some more nuanced like phrases, or just assume some base knowledge, which we sometimes do, then you're gonna miss those beginners. And then if you get like explaining too much, then you lose the experts. They're like, fuck this, you know, I'm not here to like.
And it makes sense that like, you know, if I'm a beginner and I'm trying to use this to learn, and I get like 2 straight newsletters that go right over my head, I'm probably not opening the third, right?
Yeah. And lost my train of thought. I agree though.
So who do we want to target here? I think we want to target the newbies.
I'm way more into like a broader audience, having more fun with it, less in the weeds. Like I think those are the newsletters that really fly. Still taking inspiration from like the Milk Roads of the world. I don't know. I'm not gonna like bash on other newsletters, but open rates, especially in markets like these, are pretty low for.
We know newsletter openings though that are very high. We want to be around that 50.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I know some of the newsletters that are there, and one of the ways to provide value is like be entertaining. Like it doesn't have to be educational. So I think we can think about that too. But definitely the experts aren't looking to be entertained maybe quite as much. Like they're a little bit more like productive.
Yeah, it's like if you're an expert, then like none of this is new information. Like you probably already picked all this up on Twitter, and so like is our take like super unique and valuable? Most of the time I don't think it's unique.
I would say no. I would say our well, at least the two I wrote, like nothing is unique here. That if someone is on Twitter 24/7, they're going to see all these takes.
I think
But
that's
if you're kind of like a newbie who's like not on Twitter all the time, you have a day job, you're not in the weeds, but you want to get into DeFi. Yeah.
Do you think there's a subset of people who are like crypto Twitter native but don't really get everything? They're like keeping up with the stories and the trends, but they don't pick up on some of the nuances. Like I think we're maybe providing some value there.
Yeah, like Frax for this one, I think provides value, right? Because I think a lot of people are confused on like what Frax is or something like that. And then like this one's more entertaining and like update, like Do Kwon being interviewed, reappearing again. And then like Aptos is also like it's all over Twitter, right? Everyone's hating on it, and we're kind of like breaking down why they're hating on it, and things like that. I also included a section who is like best meme of the day, where they can do a poll and we do 3 memes. I don't know if that's isn't good though.
That's not a bad idea. I just not that like we're gonna fix any of this in like one session, but I think it's good to continue to have these conversations and making sure like we're hitting the right people. We're like all aligned on what the kind of like message we're trying to give is and who this message should be going to. I think it's important that we just keep like iterating on that. Like it's very easy to be Milk Road and just like, like total crypto entire audience. Like we're going to keep it as lame as possible, but like explain as much as possible. Like that's a very easy product market fit. In order to be segmented, like we're just focusing on DeFi, that is a lesser product market fit just in general. And then on top of that, it's like very highly technical financial, very highly technical, like in the technicality itself. Like, so I just think it's good to have these conversations.
Yeah, I agree. We should like pick a target audience and like target them intentionally though. Like we shouldn't be like, oh, we can cater to some degens and also hit some beginners. Like I don't know that works long term. So maybe longer conversation another time.
That we target like a broader spectrum, like the not the advanced DeFi users, but the people who are starting to get into DeFi are noobs, want to keep up to date with the drama and new tech that's going on in the space and new innovations.
Speaking of Milk Road, who texted me today?
Who?
Ben Levy.
What did he say?
He was just like trying to catch up with me.
Who is that guy?
He's the Milk Road guy. It's like he's like Sean's like right-hand guy.
You should catch up with him. Does he know about DeFi Roast?
I don't think so, or else I think he would have brought it up.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? Interesting.
He was just like, what are you up to? Last time he hit me up like that out of the blue, they were looking for a writer, or they were like after we parted ways, like 3 or 4 months later, he was looking for like a full-time writer. And I was like, yeah, no, like I'm not gonna full-time write for you for like $40,000-$50,000 and like, a hair of my pubes in equity.
I think you should ask him like what's up and like get some advice from him on scaling. And like I would be honest and spill your guts out about you trying to do this newsletter, but like saying, hey, like yours is crypto wide and mine is DeFi specific. Like, would love your advice.
Less advice, more can you use your network to help us out?
Like that.
That's what's more effective though. Like he's not going to say anything that's going to really move the needle.
we want advice, and then like we want to show that we're taking the advice, and then he's going to be like more open to like 3 weeks later you hit him up being like, dude, like really appreciate like the advice you gave us, here's what we did, like like not just like asking like, hey, can you appear on the YouTube video, or can you mention us in the Milk Road article. Like they're not going to do that.
Well, yeah, that'd be interesting if he came on and he debated with us.
Wow. Like if you talk about like, we're having trouble scaling, like we're thinking about doing ads, like is that something you'd recommend? What are your thoughts? And then he can talk to you about like how these are different strategies that you can take, and like that we can learn some insight from that.
My goal is that he sees this someday.
Is to what? Is that he sees these?
Is this conversation someday?
That'd be hilarious.
All right. Share your screen.
Let's have I not been sharing my screen?
No.
No,
oh my God. All right, let's get into it, guys. Let's go through.
Ooh, that is ugly.
The articles. So
you know what was really bad is that the last newsletter's title didn't change in the email header. It only changed online. So it sent like something like "Hopium, please," the first title that you had written.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Subject line, pass the hopium, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It didn't copy over. Anyway, water under the bridge. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, go for it.
Cool. So first article was on frxETH, or I keep on thinking it's frxETH. It's actually frxETH. So I changed it in the actual article, but I didn't change it in the orange up top. So Frax is obviously like the king stablecoin right now, fractionally algorithmic. I'm a big Frax fan. So I wanted to kind of touch on the AMO stuff. I don't know how you guys felt about that intro with the AMOs. I think that's kind of like the competitive advantage of Frax, right? So like Frax is like, okay, can we build a stablecoin? Stablecoin is essentially like a central bank, right? We're gonna print and mint these stablecoins and give them out to people, right? But what makes Frax super interesting and sustainable and has a hard peg is because of these AMOs, automated market operations, right? So basically Frax is like, okay, well, we have all this money. How can we take this capital that we have and start to use it, right? So the idea is, can we engage in liquid automated market operations in order to be able to put the collateral to work, right? So like Frax is backed by Bitcoin, it's backed by USDC, it's backed by a little bit of Ether, right? Can we take those assets and then put them in AMOs? Like, can we put them in a Yearn vault? Can we put them in a Curve pool? And can we put them in these liquid places so that if someone wants to, take their Frax and redeem them for Bitcoin or USDC or whatever, that they can at any time, because all the market operations we're doing are liquid, so that they can be taken out at any time, so that there's no risk of your collateral's not at risk. The only risk is like a hack, but they're only putting it in like super tried and true stuff. Now they're expanding that. So it started off with like, hey, we're going to do Yearn, we're going to do it Curve pool, stuff like that. And now they're launching a lot of other things. Like they just launched Frax Lend, which is going to be massive, which is like permissionless borrow lending, build your own borrow lending pools. There's Frax Swap, you can do some swaps. And then the big one that they're launching in that, according to the block, it's going to be 2 weeks, is going to be frxETH, which is their liquid staking derivative. So Frax is entering the same market as Lido and Rocket Pool. They're trying to run ETH2 validators for FXS holders. And so one, it's a big deal because like competition, right? Like, Lido was getting to a kind of scary amount of ETH under, in the contract that was being staked, and they control who's validating that ETH. So they have a lot of control and sway over like a huge percentage of total staked ETH. Bad for decentralization. But now like Rocket Pool's entering, Coinbase is getting bigger, Binance and Kraken have theirs. So the competition is starting to come. I think people like the decentralized ways of doing it. That's why they don't like Lido. Lido's not very decentralized. That's why they like Rocket Pool. And I think Frax is going to be a relatively decentralized version. But the big thing is that liquid staking is a very profitable, is probably one of the most profitable activities. And so adding that to the list of AMOs is going to be big, because Frax is going to have more cash backing the Frax, which is good. One of the cool things that Frax does that I feel like not a lot of people know is that, so theoretically it's an algorithmic stablecoin that's moving with on the peg, right? If it goes above peg, they just print Frax as much Frax as they can without it leaving the peg. So Frax is just going back there, and as long as it's staying at 1 because of their demand, they'll just start printing more. And then they'll take that Frax they're printing, and then they'll go do AMOs with it, right? They'll go deposit it into like into a curve pool or something like that. So building, the reason why you want the AMOs is so that you have more capital, so that you can print more Frax, make more Frax without changing the peg. And so that's good because it's going to make Frax bigger supply. I don't think I really talked about that, but we can add something in there about the bigger supply. And then the last thing is like these guys are based, like they keep shipping shit. It's cool that they keep shipping shit. And that's why personally, I'm very bullish NFA. But these guys, they're in the kitchen cooking constantly. And like, you would think you build $1 billion liquid, stablecoin protocol, you're gonna like pack it in and go live on a yacht somewhere. Like Sam and the guys, like, no, they're not packing it in. Like, they're like, we want to go to the top. So bullish.
So love it. I love the last part too, our take. What I think needs to be like explained, and again, this goes back to our conversation on educating like this audience who don't even know what there's no clue what an AMO is like explain Frax, like start with Frax. Frax is stablecoin that is like incredible at keeping peg. Like back in December, like, I don't know, back in June when USDT depegged to 95 cents, even USDC depegged to 99 cents. Guess which one was at $1? Frax. How can they do that, right? Through AMO tech. Go through AMO tech. Then go into they're launching a new AMO strategy, and then you talk about the frxETH. That's kind of how I would structure this.
You don't think that's going to get too long? I had the same thought, but that was my fear.
I think you can make it not that long.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Why don't you add a little bit?
Plugged my thread about AMOs.
Like AMOs, like to me, if I read this, I was like, what are automated market operations? Why do they make the peg stronger? Like, we need to explain that.
It's a good point.
I'd say like add as little as possible to explain it, and then I'll obviously edit as well. But yeah, I mean, I'd say if it's not relevant to like getting across the point of the story, then we don't need to include it. But
we need to explain
a little bit of a story.
I think we need to start the story with a banger of like, how the heck is Frax remaining in peg, and it's even better than USDC and like USDT. And like, that's because of the AMOs. Like that's like a story that people start reading. They're like, oh, wow, I'm interested. Like, I want to learn more. Like, that's the catch.
So you want to explain all, or you want to at least, should we list all 8 AMOs?
No.
Just talk about why they're important.
Just talk about why they're important. And then just say like the newest AMO is to launch is frxETH.
So you don't think that second paragraph, you think just beef it up basically?
Yeah, you need to have an intro first of like what Frax is, why it's maintained peg better. Like, again, why does it have an amazing peg? So like quick. Okay, yeah. You're gonna, it's a lot, I know, but like you want to tell the whole story here.
That's a good idea.
So let's move on to Do Kwon. So our favorite vigilante is back. Do Kwon was interviewed this week by journalist Laura Shin, who asked some hard-hitting questions. If you don't like sitting through 90-minute interviews, don't worry, we'll break down the main points here. So Do Kwon still believes that algo coins can work. He states the cruelty of the markets caused the downfall of the USD algo stable, and there were too many eyes, aka potential attack vectors, because of the 20% API offering on Anchor. He insists that algo coins fail due to the economies that back them. Maybe we can make this like 1, 2, 3, 4. So like 2, he denies any arrest warrant as he hasn't seen an actual copy. 3, Do was in Singapore in August, but doesn't want to disclose his location at the moment. No shit. 4, admits to being a bit carried away regarding his Twitter persona, one of his many out there tweets. 5, maybe we don't need to include this, but like the one major use case of UST that like people were talking about was this Chai integration, which is like this Korean payment app. But it seems like he was oblivious to like a lot of fake Chai transactions and that their relationship was a bit overblown. But this was like one of the main things back then of like, no, UST has a real world use case. Like it's integrated with Chai and it's being used for payments. Like, so that stuff. And then last but not least, like continues to push the narrative that the project failure is not fraud. And he wants to continue to provide value in the space. Like, yikes, I'm not touching anything you're building, Do.
We don't have to be so harsh. I mean, could have been anyone. Like a lot of shit's failed. He just happened to get it really big. I mean, like I'm not saying I wouldn't take a pre-sale opportunity in his next thing is all I'm saying. It's probably
we do like
all right.
Can we do like multiple like can we do like a thread of like of just like Do Kwon just like shitting on people on Twitter, just like all of his like super fucked up like your size is not size, like
I'd be down for a little compilation, like
we should do that as a Twitter thread.
We should. That's funny. I liked it. That's a good Twitter thread. Just like screenshots of Do Kwon's most famous lines, and then here's just like 5 of them. Like, boom, your size is not size. Like all the man. There's got to be like good.
And that could really, I think that could take off if it hit the right people. Like
yeah, that totally could go viral.
A salute to our favorite fallen soldier. Do Kwon's top moments of 2021/2022.
All right, so then we can be less critical if we're going to do that, because I think that's hilarious. Salute to our favorite fallen soldier. Just a compilation of the shit talking. All right.
Like it. People love
I don't think we need this then. I don't think we need this. It's too much. And we're gonna have like yeah, I don't know if we need this. If we're gonna have
that, you could change that to one sentence like, we appreciate the interview, but there's still not a lot of clarity around LFG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. All right. Roast of the week. Aptos launch. What's the deal? I just love Jerry Seinfeld. Aptos is getting a lot of chatter on Twitter this week. Let's break down why. They launched their APT token earlier this week. It began listing on major exchanges with absolutely no information on tokenomics, aka who owned what and when their tokens vested. Looking at UVCs. Airdropped 2% of its initial supply to over 100,000 wallets. And then I kind of put like, hey, if you're interested in airdrop hunting, let us know and we can drop a guide. Maybe we say like DeFi Roast got some. If you're interested, let us know and we can drop a guide.
We didn't get any though.
Wink, we did, Ross.
Well, I guess I ought to check. Maybe my wallets were playing around and testing that on their own.
Tokenomics were later leaked. 49% of tokens owned by investors and team, 51% go to the community, but we're not privy to the definition of community. Most of these tokens are held by various foundations and labs, entities, which usually indicate they will go to grants/token incentives. 12-month lock plus 3 years of additional vesting for investors. So Aptos should really win an award for how not to launch a token. Let's just say the general public isn't pleased. APT was listed at around 14 on the 18th, and now the price is below $8. It managed to drop from $40 to $11 in just 2 minutes. Side note, even with this tremendous drop, the fully diluted value is still around $8 billion, which means a nice 8x return from first round investors to chain.
What's the percentage of circulating supply right now? Like
1 billion.
What?
1 billion.
That's the circulating supply?
Oh, of tokens? No, the market cap is 1 billion.
Oh, so that means 1/8 to 12.5% are circulating.
Yeah, so this just means if you want to see the number of tokens, you do 8 billion divided by $8.
Yeah. That's fully diluted. I meant like how much is in circulation, but you answered that. Uh,
All right.
interesting. Wait, so it pumped to $40 and then came to
No,
11?
it started at 40.
Yeah, it started.
Oh, you said 14.
Wait, yeah, wait. Let me actually double check this because I read this in a tweet and I thought it was hilarious. But you're right. Like, did it pump to 40? No, it didn't. Maybe the tweet was just wrong. Aptos CoinGecko maybe would be the right.
Depends on when they.
Hear that noise?
What?
You guys hear that buzzing noise?
No.
Cool.
Don't you have a meeting right now?
Yeah, I messed.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
It's fine. Doesn't respond.
24 hour 1373. It's hard to say like when CoinGecko started pulling data though. Could have launched at a different price. 180 days, dude. Come on. 7 day.
Yeah, this is wrong.
See, it doesn't even have the full feed.
All right, I'm gonna double check this data, but I think it might have launched 40.
That's brutal.
So I kind of wrote like DeFi Roast is holding off buying any tokens. We learned a few lessons from the L1 season back in 2021, and we're just sitting on the sidelines. Additionally, like launching on major exchanges with a ton of volume and no transparency on tokenomics is a sketchy move by our book. Not to say we're not going to dive in. Aptos tech is very promising, and there's an extensive ecosystem building on top of the blockchain. 300 plus projects. Best luck out there. Good luck out there, fellow degens. They can maybe cut this part down, but wanted to end on a note of like, yeah, the launch was bad, but like Aptos is not going anywhere. Aptos is not going to disappear.
12-month lock before any vesting.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, this token's gonna fly at some point.
Yeah, I think they're
Actually,
launching perps already on it. Like there's gonna be a short squeeze. Like it's just gonna be like
but 8 billion is a lot.
That's FTB.
with nothing built on it yet.
Yeah, it's
Wrap
hey, we're building, baby.
I mean, there's stuff building, but like not really.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. I don't know if we need this best meme of the day unless you guys have two really good memes. I thought this was a funny meme though.
So yeah, right now Avalanche's circulating market cap is only like 4.5 billion. Fully diluted, it's 11.
Now it's 7.2. It went down.
Yeah, so I mean, there's room, but we're gonna have to do something first.
50%.
All right. Ross, anything you need from us? I think I'm gonna try to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, figure that out. Ashan, beef up the first section, then I'll go in. Other than that, I should be good on year 2.
I can get a meme about Sam.
Oh no, I have the perfect picture. The picture of Sam when he's ripped as fuck. I asked DeFi Dave about that picture, and he said it was legit. He said there was a time where Sam was that ripped.
Is he not anymore?
He says he's a little rounder now because he doesn't have the time to like. He still lifts, but like Sam is like a competitive power or whatever power lifter.
Nice. CrossFit, power lift.
Yeah.
Aficionado.
Yeah, super big power lifter. So apparently DeFi Dave and Sam K lived together for a long time.
Interesting.
He was telling me that when they were doing Everpedia, which was like I guess a crypto Wikipedia basically. And so he was building that, and they started Frax in their apartment. Well, Sam started Frax in their apartment.
I like it.
Interesting, yeah. Nugget.
We started scribing in apartments or houses.
You didn't start in the garage. What are you doing?
Actually, probably in an
Airbnb. In
Airbnb.
Yeah.
Started in the hut. All right, we're good.
Thumbnail.
Oh, you know where we started? You know where we started, Ross? What was the name of that hotel? The casino. What was the name of that place? Cook Hall.
Oh, that was a fucking wild place.
Oh man.